welcome to Taya Mini Reads, Reviews, Discusses, Monologues about everything and anything, and that's on period. So today I wanted to discuss about some resources or ways where you could read books for free or cheap, right? I know reading is kind of like an expensive habit. It's not cheap. There are special editions, there are, Kickstarter editions, and there's just like new release editions. Well, new releases are usually kind of expensive. So, or if you were kind of like trying to read like a Wheel of Time, which is about 15 books, and you wanted to buy it all at once, that's expensive. Or Bridgerton, right? They have I don't know how many stories, maybe like 10. Even buying that box set is it's not cheap. So I wanted to just kind of run through some different resources and options that you could use to kind of get books for free or for cheap. So first one we're gonna discuss is I think the very first way that you could get maybe slightly for free, and I have my notes here, so I'm just gonna be looking down a bit. Is you can first of all is follow a favorite author of yours on Instagram or their socials, because sometimes those authors will announce, hey, there's a sale on my books on Amazon. You can get it for 99 cents. Or giveaways, right? They do giveaways, and I have an example of that. So one day there's this author I follow, and she just announced like, hey, I have a couple of extra books and I want to give it out. Shoot me a DM, and I did, and I won a book. So I was super excited that Rosaria Munda, she put it on her social, her Instagram, and I was able to grab a copy from her for free of Fury Song. And she actually also she she actually she signed it. So I mean, this was so sweet of her to do it. I don't have any. I've never talked to her or anything, but it was just a sweet thing. So yeah, you could get free books from authors just by following their socials and engaging with them. So another way you could get free or books for less is, you first of all have to download the Kindle app. I recommend the Kindle app because buying a Kindle itself is a bit more pricey when it's the same thing. The only difference is with the Kindle app, you will get notifications on your phone, so you could get distracted. Whereas if you're using the Kindle device by itself, you're obviously not going to get distracted. So that's something to kind of think about. The Kindle app is about 50 to about $100. So the Kindle device, I mean, it's between 50 to $100. So it's a bit expensive. Whereas the Kindle app is free on Apple Store, so you can get that, and you will be able to get some books for free, ebooks, right? So, and I will talk about those other options. Another way to get books for free or for cheap is by following publishers' newsletters. I follow HarperCollins. They have this email newsletter that comes out called Book Perks. Book Perks will give you a list of books for the week that they're kind of like highlighting, showcasing, and books that are on sale. So you will see books for like 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99, really cheap. And then you can just buy it and just download it to your Kindle app. So, I think those are good. I think that's also another way you can get like a book for cheap. And that's also, I usually use that for genres that I'm not familiar with and I want to get into. So if I see a book that's not really something I would read, but it's 99 cents, I'm like, what's the harm? So I would buy it from the newsletter. And so another way that you can get books for cheap is by getting a library card, right? And you can have multiple library cards. You don't even have to have just one, right? So I used to live somewhere else before in a different city, and then I moved to another city, and I still have my library cards from both places that I live. And so for you to be able to use a library card, you have to use an app called Libby. So when you have Libby, you will put in your library card information on the Libby app, and it will connect you and your library together. So that way you can borrow books from your library through Libby, and once the loan is up, Libby will automatically return the book to the library. So you don't even have to remember, oh, I need to return. Like if you had gone into a library to get a physical copy, you would have to go back. Otherwise, you would have to pay like a fee or something like that. So I really encourage people to go into the library. It's free to get a card as long as you live in that district or city. You just have to show your ID. So I would encourage people to get a library card because you can get books absolutely free. This is the 100% free resource, because once you are tapped into the library, you know whatever library you have, you can see all of the books they have in their catalog, and they're absolutely free to borrow. The only thing about the library card and using Libby is if it's an overhyped book. Sorry, if it's a hyped book, if it's a hyped book, sometimes you would not be able to read it immediately because there's a lot of people that have placed holds on the book. So it kind of depends. For example, Dream Count by Chimamanda just got out. If that book is in my library, I wouldn't want to borrow it because I'm very sure that there would be like hundreds of people waiting for the book. So in that case, I would just like buy the book instead. But if it's like a backlist book that I've been trying to read or trying to get into, then I would just borrow from my library. And the other thing is you are loaned the book for 21 days, so you kind of have to read it in that quick space. So that's another thing to be aware of when you're borrowing from the library. But it's automatically returned. So so you finished it, you don't, you can always get it back. You can always put a new hold on the book. And so yeah, libraries are great. I love libraries. I recommend everyone get a library card, please. Okay, so the next one that I want to talk about is going to independent bookstores or boutique bookstores, the smaller ones, not the big chains, where they sell used books, slightly used books. Some of the books comes from libraries overhauling their, catalog or their stock. So you would actually see some books that would say property of like a library somewhere, but it's in the bookshop, right? So, and those books are usually half price or like, way cheaper than you would buy it online or Amazon. Just know that new release books are always going to be super expensive. If the book is just released in this year, it's going to be very expensive versus a book that was released last year or the years past. So have that in mind. In my area, the one bookstore that's like a independent bookstore is Half Price Books. So when I go there, they usually have books, way cheaper, half price, and they actually run discounts and sales across the year or around the year, all year long. Let me put it that way. Especially during the holidays, Christmas, they usually have like a 10% or a 30% off. So I usually go there instead of Barnes and Nobles because Barnes and Noble is super expensive, and my money will go long in a smaller bookshop. So those are like some of the ways that you could get books for free. I also wanted to showcase some of the special edition or Kickstarter books that I have gotten. They were pricey, but just to give you an idea that even if you don't buy a book from Amazon, you could always buy special edition books that are really beautiful, and they just look great on your shelves. So the first one I'm gonna talk about is Once Upon a Broken Heart. I think this is one of like a book box subscription. I need to remember the one. I don't. Oh yeah, this was Fairy Loot. It was Fairy Loot special edition, actually signed by Stephanie Garber, and I got this 2021. So I've had this for a while. It's a very beautiful book. You can see the sprayed edges, and it does have this inside of it, right? So it's so pretty, and the book box came with a couple of other things, but this was a while back. I can't remember what it was. Ooh, and then another thing is how beautiful is this book? Just there, right? So this is so pretty. Just having it out, even without the sleeve, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous book. So the next book that I wanted to showcase was Dune. So this was a Barnes & Noble special edition. I got it in Barnes & Noble. Nothing so great about it. It just had sprayed edges, and it had this beautiful inscription, you know, drawings inside, which is so lovely. And it's actually, you know, inscribed with fear is the mind killer. And the back is the same, very pretty. You can see the worm, and there's nothing on the back. So this was also a very good book. A very good option. I got it. I just randomly went into Barnes and Noble. I think my husband bought that for me. Not sure. Okay. This is also another special edition, Wings of Shadow by Nikki Parfredo. Doesn't have any. It doesn't have anything inside. So it just had the sprayed edges. I cannot remember where I got this from, but it's so pretty, so unique. I love the story. This was a really good book. Okay, so my most beautiful book would be The Sword of Kagan. This book is so interesting. The story is fascinating, and this was the Kickstarter edition. From what was the name? I can't remember, but this was a Kickstarter edition, and as you can see, it has beautiful inscriptions inside. The book naked, the heart just naked by itself, gorgeous. And you can see the sprayed edges is silver, and I think it had some, well, just had something like this inside, and you can see this other side is a map, colored map too. So very pretty. I think I spent about 35 or 40 bucks for this book. It was not cheap, but so gorgeous. I'm super happy that I grabbed a copy. The last book that I want to show is my Secret Projects book. There were 4 of them. I'm just showing the Sunlit Man just to kind of show you. But you can see the whole, this is just a naked book. It doesn't actually have a sleeve, which I actually prefer this. But you can see, again, the beautiful endnotes. It's has this black sprayed edge. And there's also Nomad at the back. You know, so beautiful. And in the book, which I really loved, where you can see there's illustrations of the characters across the book. So this was a really the Kickstarter was great. I loved reading the Kickstarter, and yeah. So I guess I just wanted a way to show off my books. But anyways, let me know if any of the resources I mentioned earlier are great, they worked for you, or if you have ways to read books cheap or for less. Let me know in the comments so that everyone else can find out for themselves and, you know, try those options. Another tip I just wanted to quickly mention was, I know it's really hard to cultivate a habit of reading. So maybe do 1 chapter a day, where you just read a chapter, probably 10 minutes, just 10 minutes of quiet time, set an alarm, read a chapter for a day, and, you know, especially if you read a genre that you love or you're interested in, I think that would help cultivate that habit. I think what a lot of people do is you probably read books that maybe you don't like, and so you're like, yeah, I don't like reading, but you just read 1 book or 1 genre. There's a lot of genres out there. So I hope, you know, these help the resources or the ways you can read books for free. And thank you for watching my video. I will see you guys in my next video. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.